Welcome everyone, I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and an NPC Bikini competitor, and this is my 2025 prep vlog. We are 5 weeks and 4 days out, I believe, so just barely a month out, which is unbelievable. But the weeks have been flying by, and I realized as I was sitting here getting ready to record this that usually in the intro I talk about the feedback from my coach for this week, but because he responded the second I sent my feedback in, I talked about it in my outro from last week. So if you guys missed that video, it is linked in the description box here. So I actually did my check-in and all my feedback at once because it all kind of happened at once. That's just how good Tommy is. So in the intro this week, I'm actually going to talk about my midweek check-in, which was on Wednesday. And then in the outro, I will talk about my check-in for this week and the feedback for this week. Ooh, the sun is coming out. It has been a weird week of weather. We have had typical fall in Colorado. It's been cold, it's been hot, it's been raining, it's been sunny, it's been all the weather. What they say about Colorado is true. If you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. It was cold and cloudy. I mean, we had a day, one of the days, oh my goodness, when I went for my walk, it was like 40 degrees. So I'm wearing like, gloves and a hat. And then the next, like 2 days later, it was really overcast. So it was really warm overnight. So it was like almost 70. And I'm out in like a hoodie. So, you have to be prepared for all seasons this time of year because they can all happen in the same day, just about, because now the sun is out and it's going to be nice, which is good because I have a lot of steps to get in. As you heard last week in my outro, my coach did up my cardio. So I am now doing 55 minutes of steady state on the stairs, and I'm still doing my 13 rounds of HIIT on the bike, which takes about 20 minutes, a little bit of warm up. The 13 rounds of HIIT and then a little bit of time to cool down is about 20 minutes. So all in all, I am doing my AM fasted walk. Then I immediately come in and chug my pre-workout and go down and do all my cardio and then workout, and then the day goes on. But I still have 16,000 steps to get in also. So I still need to go on a little bit of a walk. I think I'm at around 13,000. So just a 30-minute or so walk should finish off those last steps for the day today. I get my phone like I'm going to talk about my Wednesday check-in because we already know what happened for my check-in. So I sent a brief check-in on, or not really check-in, but I did text him on Monday at the gym after I did legs because I'm still increasing my weights on a lot of things. Like I do that split squat of death, which you guys have seen in my previous leg day, which is just a drop set of split squats where you have 3 different weights. So you do 8 reps and then you pause in the hole for 10 seconds. Switch to the next, 8 sets, pause for 10, switch to the next, pause for 10, and cry. And it is brutal. But when I started out doing them, I was using like, I think maybe the 30 was the heaviest weight I was using. So this week I actually used the 80, the 60, and the 30. I said, got the 80, about my limit to hold with one hand at this point, and fuck, my legs are shaking. So I have to, I use my straps, and I get the one, my main hand wrapped on it, and then I use the other hand to do like an assist, and I do kind of carefully lift it with both hands and then let go with just the one, and hold it. And the reason I say that's kind of my limit is because I'm not trying to super overdevelop my traps by holding a massive heavy weight for all this, but yeah, that was intense. He said, still getting stronger 5 weeks out. I said, also up 15 pounds on the B stance squat, or B stance leg press today too, which is just a single leg press variation. I said, all that rice last night better go straight to my glutes because I got to do the rice and sushi, or the rice and salmon at home. He said, easy, we're going to kill the rest of prep. I hope you're aware. I said, if we don't, it won't be because lack of effort. He said, crazy shit can happen in short periods of time, and we don't even need anything crazy to happen. He sent me a picture of one of his other competitors. It was just 3 days apart. But I mean, this is a person who was already ridiculously lean and just tightened up, but incredible nonetheless. So that was Monday. And then Wednesday, I sent him these check-in pictures. Here. Said, good morning, Tommy. Midweek check-in. I'm feeling pretty bloated and watery today. Weight is up about 5 pounds from Sunday. Nothing else to report. I said, I remembered one thing. Last night I learned you can order iceberg lettuce heads on regular Amazon for next day prime delivery. Got 2 heads delivered at 5 a.m. So if you need iceberg lettuce, Amazon has got you. And he said, perfect. Pull cardio for the next 3 days. And I said, all cardio, HIIT and steady state? Because I'd already done my cardio for the morning. This was Wednesday. And he said, all cardio, steps only, more time for sleep. And I said, OMG, okay. He said, enjoy, but you have to get the sleep in if we do this. And I said, deal. He said, I want 7 to 8 hours. I said, me too. And that was basically it. So yeah, or he asked me about the lettuce. He said, I meant to respond to that. Does it come from Whole Foods? And I said, it's organic and it came from regular Amazon delivery, not Whole Foods delivery. And it wasn't Amazon Fresh. This was just regular Amazon overnight Prime delivery. And he said, I had no idea. I said, I think it may have been part of Prime Days because Prime Days was happening. My battery on my mic is about to die. I better talk fast. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, like literally I had like 2 heads of iceberg lettuce delivered just regular Amazon, which was great because as you all know, one of my meals right now is just meat and lettuce. And I can add shredded lettuce to my other meals also, but I don't like buying the pre-bagged lettuce. I have a couple of times and they use this inert gas to keep it from spoiling or from getting like soggy in the package. And that just does not sit well with my digestive system. So I much prefer just to get the head of iceberg and just shred it myself. So that was very exciting. So that was my Wednesday check-in. And I will check in again with him as normal on Saturday and see how things go. I am really frustrated that I keep gaining weight, but trying to just let that go. So that is all I've got for the intro this week. Not sure what else is going to be in this video. I'm still kind of riding the high of all the Olympia stuff, but I don't want to talk about it in 3 videos in a row, so I'm going to just keep that all to myself, probably, hopefully. But yeah, I will see you guys here in whatever comes next. Well, it feels like it's been forever since I have done a shopping haul. But my shopping hauls these days are pretty boring and I tend to just kind of pick up a few things here or there, but I did do a little bit of shopping today that I thought I would share, just kind of some things I picked up along the way today. So the first thing in the back here is these are the A&W Zero Sugar Ice Cream Sundae. Now I know this is like a completely polarizing thing on social media right now. People either love these or hate these. I love them and I didn't find them until they were basically like done for the season. So when I happened to see a couple packs, I grabbed them. So I am super excited. They don't taste like root beer. They taste like kind of like chocolate. They are just so delicious and they make the most amazing little treat when I'm craving something sweet or chocolatey. I just can't think of anything that would be a better combo, and they're a little bit bubbly, like they are just amazing. So I am bummed that I didn't find these when they first came out in the summer, but they have been a sweet little treat to find at this point in prep. Yeah, so I got both of those. And then I got 2 heads of iceberg lettuce. This is just regular. I try to get organic when I buy iceberg lettuce. This is conventional because the organic heads of lettuce were like the size of a small orange for double the price, and I just could not justify it today. So I got just 2 conventional heads of iceberg lettuce. I get shredded lettuce with my meals, and I don't like the pre-shredded lettuce because they use this inert gas to keep it from spoiling, and it just upsets my stomach. So I'd like to shred it myself. I also picked up a bunch of zucchini. Zucchini are kind of going out of season, so it's been a little bit more challenging to find good ones, but these ones looked really good. I also got a bag of frozen green beans. I like the fine green beans, and then I just kind of chop them up into even smaller pieces. I get green beans with one of my meals each day. And then I also picked up a bag at Costco. I think it's funny. I go to Costco and people like have like whole carts full of things, and I go to buy a bag of organic blueberries and a bag of shrimp, and I leave. So that's all I got at Costco. Oh, and then I got this tea. So this is a new tea that I found, and it looks really delicious. I haven't actually tried it yet. I'm gonna have some today. It's from Traditional Medicinals, and it is their organic Stress Ease Immune Blend with reishi and warming spices. So it has, let's see if I can get that to focus. It has astragalus, Athurio, reishi, and then hawthorn berry, cinnamon bark, fenugreek, safflower petal, cardamom, and Chinese blackberry leaf. So I think this is gonna be really tasty and really nice. It says, let the power of adaptogens and immune tonics support your health all year. Astragalus and reishi mushrooms support a balanced immune response. to help your body cope with occasional stress, to stay resilient no matter what life brings your way. Sip this warming and soothing blend and feel your resilience build. Sounds perfect. So this sounds great for, kind of this part in prep where I'm trying really hard to make sure that I do not get sick or am not feeling overly stressed out. So excited to try these guys also. So that's it. Not the most interesting shopping haul, but this is what it looks like when a bikini girl toward the end of prep goes shopping. It's got, a little bit of everything, not much of anything. And we're back. And oh my goodness, the sun literally just came out and I got the lines. We're just gonna go with it. I'm so happy to see the sun. I don't even care if they're making weird lines on my face. So it is the end of the week and it is time to talk about my check-in for the week and what I sent to Tommy for my check-in. So check-in starts off with pictures. Here. You guys heard in the intro that I did do a midweek check-in. So I did check in on Wednesday. So I already talked about that. So this was just kind of like my more formal check-in. So I did send, I just said good morning, sent my weight from today and from last Saturday, my average glucose for the week, which was 75. Sleep score this week was an 86. This was down slightly from last week, which was an 87, even with a couple nights of, see, now those lines are gonna drive me crazy. Even with a couple nights of getting a little bit more sleep so that I, was taking away the sleeping in a little bit since I didn't have cardio to do in the morning, but that's okay. Resting heart rate was average of a 52. I did remember this time to insert my supplements, so he had those so he didn't have to ask. And then also what I'm doing for my current training split. So I am on a 6-day lifting schedule right now of push-pull legs. Doing cardio, it was pulled Thursday and Friday, but had been doing 55 minutes of steady state and then 13 rounds of HIIT on the cardio bike, on the spin bike. I said it felt weird not doing cardio for a couple of days. I did get extra sleep. Not 8, but a little over 7, and did a really good yoga session yesterday morning. Last night's sleep was not great because I was up a little late, but that was really it. That was my whole check-in. I did do a really good yoga session. It was really nice. I have really missed doing more yoga. You guys know from my last season prep vlog, I was doing a lot of yoga. I was also in my off season that year. So from 2023 into 2024, I was only lifting 4 days a week. So I had 3 off days and very minimal cardio. So I was doing yoga like at least 3 times a week. And I really do miss it. So yeah, we'll see what Tommy says about whether or not adding cardio back in or not. I think I did actually write that when I sent this was just, I kind of copied it so it was easier so I didn't have to scroll back through all of our text to see it, but I lost my train of thought entirely. Doing yoga, something else. Oh, about cardio. That's what it is. See the prep brain, it gets me. I said, I assume we're adding cardio back in, ... So we shall see what Tommy has to say about that. Yeah, but that was really it for the week. It was a good week. Not a lot going on. I am feeling very, very not ready still, but I feel like I'm starting to see things changing a little bit. As I record this, I am just under 5 weeks out, so not a lot of time to make changes, but just trying to follow the plan. The only person whose opinion I care about right now is my coach. And if my coach says we're doing fine and we're on target, then I'm just going to go with that. I did have a couple of unusual things happen this week, like sort of prep related. I had a weird interaction with somebody at the gym who refused to get off of a piece of equipment that I was trying to use that was unpleasant. But I also had a person I know who also competes give me some critiques, is maybe not the right word for it, but just some thoughts, some input perhaps about how they felt I'm doing and looking, and that kind of got in my head a little bit too, and just trying to kind of block all that out. So that's all I got for this week. Next week, I have nothing but normal stuff planned, just normal prep things, working out. We'll see if I'm doing cardio. I'm not gonna lie, as much as it felt weird, it has also felt kind of nice. Man, I was up to a lot of cardio, so I don't know how I feel about having it pulled completely. It makes me feel like I'm not doing enough at a time when I should be really pushing more, but that's okay. Like I said, I know Tommy has a plan, and in my feedback from last week that I talked about in the intro, he did kind of want to start more of this kind of push-pull, pulsating kind of thing where we push really hard for a couple days and then pull back a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Tommy has to say about my check-in from this week. But until then, please, 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 wherever you are, spread positivity and light to yourself and everyone around you. You are worthy, you deserve it, and I appreciate you so much for being here. And I will see you all here next time.